Our solar system, with the sun at its center. It's massive, majestic, and made up of 8 planets, each with their own unique characteristics that separate one from the other. Be it supersonic winds, massive volcanoes, dozens of moons, or noxious atmospheres that could cook mile-high pizzas in seconds, the planets in our solar system have it all. But there is one question that comes to mind: which is the best planet? When put head to head, how do they hold up? This is the solar system tier list, and the goal is to find the ultimate S-tier planet. Mercury, the first planet from the Sun, named after the Roman god of speed. This sun-scorched world is a small, barren, gray wasteland rocked by extreme temperatures. When I say extreme, I mean it. Daytime temperatures can reach 430 degrees Celsius, while nighttime temps take the plunge to as low as -180 Celsius. The surface is really quite boring though, empty and scarred by impact craters. Its atmosphere is so weak it's called an exosphere, and made of a wide array of elements including oxygen, sodium, and potassium. Points for diversity, having about 5 elements total, but too weak to ever support life. Combine this with the overwhelming solar radiation from the sun that would look 3 times bigger than on Earth, and the chance of life surviving on Mercury is near zero. Mercury tops the charts in atmospheric diversity, being the first planet from the sun, and being the fastest in its orbit. Other than those wins, is quite a bland planet. With all the aforementioned in mind, I award Mercury a D-tier rating. Venus, second planet from the Sun, named after the Roman goddess of love. Though Venus is Earth's closest neighbor, and often called Earth's twin, it couldn't be more different. This planet is a hellish wasteland of super hot rock, encased in a smelly, toxic atmosphere of carbon dioxide and clouds of sulfuric acid. The surface of Venus is relatively new and covered in massive volcanoes, rifts, and mountains. It is believed that there may be entire volcanic plains filled with lava amongst the madness. The chaos doesn't end on the surface. Venus's nasty atmosphere actually made it into the hottest planet in the solar system, due to a runaway greenhouse effect. We are talking temperatures of about 475 Celsius on planet. That's hot enough to melt lead. If you like sunlight though, don't expect much of it here. The clouds block most of it out. With all that, it comes as no surprise that life has no chance of surviving on Venus near the surface. Though, there may have been a time that it was a vibrant ocean world. This is a world of extreme heat, an action movie made into a planet. I'd say almost everything about it is unique. I award Venus an A-tier rating. Earth, the third planet from the Sun, named after the ground in many languages. This blue ball is our home and the only planet with life that we currently know of. Earth is a big chungus, being the largest and densest of the inner planets. When going planet-side, we see a brilliant world of mountains, canyons, plains, and more. It is also the only planet with liquid water on the surface. The atmosphere is as diverse as Mercury's, containing elements like oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen. However, unlike Mercury, Earth's atmosphere is much stronger. Unlike the other inner planets, it also boasts an impressive magnetosphere, which protects the surface from solar radiation and meteoroids. The winds don't stop there. Earth has a vibrant array of climates, with the average temperature being about 14 Celsius. And finally, another Earth-only exclusive is the presence of only one moon in orbit, the Moon. Honestly, I'm having trouble finding any downsides with our home planet. For its extreme uniqueness as a terrestrial planet, I award Earth an S-tier rating. Mars, the fourth planet from the Sun, named after the Roman god of war. A sad, small, and dusty world, Mars doesn't boast much these days. Its surface is pretty at the very least, being a calm, rusty color due to the oxidation of iron. The surface itself is a rocky expanse, altered by long-gone volcanoes, impacts, and winds. Despite its color hinting of possible heat, Mars can get quite cold. Like the deserts of Earth, the Martian surface can reach as low as -153 Celsius at night. The warmest you'll find it on the red planet is 20 Celsius. A related trick you can only get on Mars. Standing on the surface near the equator at noon would have your feet feeling warmer than your head due to the extremely thin atmosphere. Heat just escapes super quickly. The atmosphere is made up of similar compounds as that on Earth, but it was long ago stripped near bare by solar radiation due to Mars's pathetic magnetosphere. Though Mars is currently a desolate wasteland with frozen polar caps, it was once a vibrant ocean world that likely harbored life. A truly sad story, even worse than the story of Venus. One thing gets Mars major brownie points though. Humanity is very interested in it, and may one day help it become a life-filled world once again. I award Mars a stable C-tier rating. Jupiter, the 5th planet from the Sun, named after the king of the Roman gods. Spoiler alert, I really like this planet. It lacks a true surface, as do all of the remaining planets in our solar system. The core, if you could reach it, is enveloped in liquid metallic hydrogen, and most likely around 50,000 Celsius. Talk about insane. Jupiter is an absolutely gargantuan gas giant, being the biggest planet in the solar system by far. Every other planet could be shoved inside Jupiter and we'd still have some space left over. The atmosphere looks absolutely beautiful from space, with long bands of colorful clouds and raging storms. The atmosphere itself is made up of hydrogen and helium, and most likely a very violent place of high winds and storms. If you like warm places, Jupiter probably isn't for you, having temperatures of about -110 Celsius in the upper atmosphere. As we'll see with all the gas giants, this is a world of extremes. The materials, temperatures, and pressures present make the survival of any life impossible. But hey, if life is what you're looking for, look no further than Jupiter's moons. Several of the 79 probable moons Jupiter has may have underground oceans containing life. Why so many moons? This planet's gravitational pull is immense, and besides pulling in a whole family of moons, it actually protects Earth from many potentially devastating asteroid impacts. If you're looking still for a standout factor, that's not all. Jupiter is most famous for the Great Red Spot, a storm that has raged in its upper atmosphere for hundreds of years. This planet is an absolute banger. I award Jupiter a solid S tier. Saturn, the 6th planet from the Sun, named after the Roman god of agriculture and wealth. Its most noticeable feature is the thousands of ringlets made of ice chunks that swirl around it in a mesmerizing pattern. It appears yellowish-brown to the human eye, and in my opinion, doesn't hold a candle to the look of Jupiter. The planet itself is pretty similar to Jupiter in its composition though, just smaller and significantly less dense. Saturn has such a small density, in fact, that if we had a planet-sized bathtub ready to go, Saturn would float in it. Unsurprisingly, life could not survive the extremes of this planet. But the moons, like Jupiter's, might hold life. Actually, Saturn might beat out Jupiter in terms of moons, with potentially 82 total. Saturn itself is pretty bland for a gas giant, but the brilliant rings and huge amount of moons score it some points. Oh, and something I didn't mention when speaking about Jupiter, but true for the rest of the planets on this list, including Saturn, is their ridiculous magnetospheres, which cause all sorts of wacky phenomena. Alas, due to Saturn being a great value Jupiter with better rings in my eyes, I award it a B tier rating. Uranus, the 7th planet from the Sun, named after the Greek god of the sky. This planet is probably known as being a massive joke to people with a childish sense of humor. Anyway, Uranus is known as an ice giant. This term is used because most of Uranus's mass is composed of a hot, dense fluid of icy materials like water, methane, and ammonia. Its upper atmosphere is made mostly of molecular hydrogen and helium, just like, you guessed it, the gas giants. However, what sets it apart from those two is the presence of a small amount of methane in its atmosphere. This methane gives it its baby blue appearance and probably makes it smell like butt. How fitting. The core within this planet is most likely small and rocky. Temperature-wise, Uranus can reach as low as -224 Celsius in some places. It, along with Jupiter and Neptune, has a small amount of rings, but they don't compare to Saturn's. A notable feature of Uranus is that it rotates on its side for some reason unknown to us. This also comes with an irregularly tilted magnetosphere and some crazy winds that reach up to 900 kilometers per hour. Sounds pretty nutty, right? Wait until the next planet on our list. I award Uranus a perfectly acceptable B tier. Neptune, the 8th and final planet from the Sun, named after the Roman god of the sea. It appears several shades of blue to the human eye, with occasional white cloud bands. Some scientists actually believe there is an ocean of super hot water under Neptune's clouds, kept from boiling by the intense pressure. Being an ice giant like Uranus, its atmosphere consists of pretty much the exact same materials. However, an unknown component at play gives Neptune its darker blue shades. Nothing like a bit of mystery. This faraway world is a cold, dark nightmare whipped by supersonic winds. How dark, you ask? Sunlight on Earth is 900 times brighter than on Neptune. Sounds like a party. And what makes a party even better? How about supersonic winds that can reach as fast as 1,770 kilometers per hour? That's about 1.5 times faster than sound, by the way. Basically, Neptune is a roided out Uranus that's farther away than Pluto sometimes. I award it a solid A tier rating to cap off the tier list. So, with the tiers in place, we have two obvious contenders for the ultimate planet. Which is it going to be? Earth or Jupiter? Well, Earth can support life, is the biggest of the inner planets, has mild temperatures, has one moon, and is overall a very beautiful planet. Jupiter cannot support life, but it's the biggest planet in the entire solar system by a long shot, has crazy temperatures, has dozens of moons, and is overall a magnificent looking planet. I think the winner here should be clear. In terms of our solar system, I say bigger is better. The ultimate planet is, fitting of its name, Jupiter. Alright, that's it. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and be sure to subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my ratings and the crowning of Jupiter as the planet to rule all 8. Noodles Night Train, signing off.